So immigration, why is it the most important issue? Of course, we got a lot of things going into 2016. Does it really supersede the economy and other things? Here to talk about it in studio, Ann Coulter, syndicated columnist and author of Adios America, and also, of course, your newest book, right, on immigration.
This is it.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying the timing couldn't have been better.
Well, people always say this to me as if my book had nothing to do with the fact that we're talking about it now.
Well,
and that book on impeaching
Trump?
Bill Clinton. Whoa, what amazing luck that was. And then he got impeached. Well, Trump read my book. Where do you think he got all that spicy stuff about Mexican rape? That's from Adios America.
Why is this the most important issue right now?
Because it determines every other issue. I mean, you said in your opening, how does it affect the economy? I try to watch your show, but I've been looking up statistics on immigrants, so I haven't watched it as religiously as I should.
That's
but
okay.
My guess is that you're pinning a lot of the blame on Obama and the Democrats. Well, Obama never would have been elected but for Teddy Kennedy's 1965 Immigration Act. Al Franken never would have been elected in Minnesota without 100,000 Somalis living there and block voting for the Democrats. He was the 51st vote for Obamacare. Certainly Obama wouldn't have been reelected. Romney would have won a bigger victory against Barack Obama in 2012 than Reagan won against Carter in 1980, but for post-1970 immigrants. And that is what we're talking about here.
Yeah, but we're struggling in this country with what to do with illegal immigrants. And you're talking about immigrants, legal immigrants. What are you going to do? You're going to send all post-1970 immigrants back?
Well, first of all, we got to get a handle on the illegals. Yes, we need a wall. Thank you, Donald Trump. Deport as many as we can. And I now think, I loved Mitt Romney for saying we'll just enforce E-Verify so that you can't hire illegals. And then the illegals already here will self-deport, right. I.e. they'll go home the same way they came. I never understood why that was such an alarming statement.
In other words, if they can't make money, why are they here in the first place? And if they can't make money here and send it back home?
Well, that's a big problem for us. They're sending just Mexico. They're sending 20 billion home back to Mexico. That's just money being sucked out of our economy. Yeah.
I mean,
and they're taking low-wage jobs. Who does it go to? And this is my objection to probably many of your friends at the Wall Street Journal. It's very good for capital, the rich people, your capital gains. If you can drive down the wages of the people who draw wages, that's good for business. Your stocks will go up. But ordinary Americans are suffering. Their wages have been collapsing, especially since between 1980 and now.
But here's where I guess I differ with you a little bit in the sense that I don't know that it's big business that's trying to drive down wages. This is where I think the problem is. I think too many Americans get paid not to work. I think too many young Americans don't have to work, so they don't have to work at the catfish farm. Right. They don't have to work. You know, disability is going to go. It's going to implode next year. You know why? Have you looked at the numbers? I was just looking at the numbers because it turned 80 this week. Mood disorders. You go in there and say, I've got mood problems. Okay, boom. You get a check. 28 years old, strong as hell. Yeah. You don't have to work. So when you don't have to work, guess what? Across that field from your house, someone's got to pick that fruit. To me, it's not the big business. It's the idea that we pay so many people in this country not to work that these illegals are filling that void.
No, you're absolutely right. But first of all, to get control of that, we're going to have to elect Republicans, and we can't if we keep bringing in immigrants who, and post-1970 immigrants, have been blocked voing for the Democrats.
All Republicans
8-2.
Because it seems like more and more of them are saying, you know what, let's assimilate, let's do it the right way, let's,
No, that's why I say go Trump go, as long as he's good on immigration. But point two, immigrants are also both legal and illegal, more likely to be on welfare than the native born. Why would any country bring in people it has to help? This is not helping the economy. It is not helping the poor. It is helping the very, very rich, and it's helping the Democratic Party.